Oh, you're so stunning. Welcome to episode 6 of the Paint Your Face podcast. So today I'm painting the face of the gorgeous Asia.
Hello.
So Asia, I'd love you to introduce yourself just quickly, just to tell everybody who you are, where you're from, a little bit of background, and then we'll get started.
Sounds good. My name is Asia. I am a makeup artist, primarily bridal. I'm also a mother to 3 beautiful girls and a wife. I'm originally from Las Vegas and now I live in Scotland.
Yay! So, Asia, we're going to do your makeup, but I actually thought it might be a little bit fun to use AI for this. I mean, I'd love if AI could just do your makeup. That'll be the future. But right now, I'm going to take a photo of you, and then we're going to check with ChatGPT what they or it thinks that your perfect look would be. Okay, so Asia, this is the photo we took of you, and I've just popped it into your ChatGPT, and we're going to see what it says. So first of all, it's complimenting you that you're naturally radiant and lovely balanced features. So based on your skin tone, hair color, and overall look, here's a makeup look that would suit you. So we really want to look at like what eyeshadows and things like that I would recommend for you. So warm neutrals, bronzes, copper, champagne, shimmer, eyeliner, bronzer, brown, and lips, soft, rosy, nude, and natural. So that's kind of my specialty anyway. So are you happy if we do that kind of look today?
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you agree with ChatGPT?
Those are all my colors, I think, that suit me for sure.
Oh, and it's done a little image of you. So I'll just show that to the camera as well. So this is hopefully, I can see you in it as well, Asia. So if only I could just like pop that onto your face and then it's done. So we're going to start with your skin prep. So I'm going to cleanse, just a little micellar water to freshen up your skin because you have no makeup on. And then I'm going to do your lip balm, moisturizer, and eye cream.
Sounds good.
So we connect. How long ago since we connected? Was it maybe about a year and a half, 2 years ago?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know. I want to lean more towards maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah. I can't remember how it all began, how we actually met. Did you message me or did I message you?
Yep. So I messaged you on Facebook because I had decided to get back into makeup. I kind of took a break for a little while.
Was that because you'd had the kids?
No, I think I just lost a little bit of confidence with doing makeup. But then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. It's what I really enjoy. It's my passion. So I'm going to get back into it. So I actually booked a wedding and I needed help with it because there was a lot of people at the time for me to do and it just seemed really overwhelming. So I reached out to you and I was so surprised that you were like, absolutely. Like we hadn't met each other. And you were like, absolutely, I'll help you. Whatever rates you're going for, like, I'll take it. I was like, oh my God, who is this girl? She's so nice.
Were you thinking, what, Keen Bean?
No.
She's like,
no.
Yeah, okay, I'll do anything.
No, I was super surprised that like somebody so successful was like willing to help me. And with so much experience. So yeah, that's how we met.
I know. And then actually that wedding party ended up, you didn't need my help. So, yeah. But I was glad we connected because I needed your help loads of times.
It's so funny how things work out. So yeah, so at that point, I had already gotten pretty much like my confidence back. I think it was just really a confidence thing where I was like, oh, 6 people, it's too much for me. And then by that point, I was like, you know what, I can do it. And I did it. So
yeah, you did it and it went well. Let me just pop this onto your lips. I'm just going to, because you moved, I'm now giving you a nice moisturized moustache. So I've done your skin prep and I'm just finishing off your base for your eyelids. So I'm using the Natasha Denona concealer and I'm just setting that across the eyelids. And then I'm going to actually use a translucent powder just to set that. So it's a really smooth, gorgeous base. And then I'm just using the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless powder in shade 1. Just to tap that over your eyelid. So it's really just the most clean canvas. And then we're going to do our warm tones as ChatGPT told us. So it just gives us a really good canvas. So we've mentioned how we met and you reached out to me and, I was going to help you at this bridal party. And then I ended up being like, oh, you could help me because the more the merrier in my mind. So my whole time in the beauty can be quite, I find a lot of people can be quite competitive, and we're all against each other, or beauty professionals get a bad rep for being quite jealous and being quite bitchy. But I have never surrounded myself with people like that, and I feel like I've never been like that. I mean, I love a good moan, but usually it's about men more so than each other. So was really keen to start a kind of preferred supplier list where we were all sort of collaborative as opposed to competition. And I added you into that.
It was such an amazing idea. And I think the support, because when you are in a profession where you're self-employed, you lack that support. So to have other people to bounce ideas off of, and to, just pass along jobs and things like that, because there's enough room in the industry for everybody, and everybody's style is very unique to them. So yeah, that the group chat has been honestly like a lifesaver, a really good, source of support for me.
So the average booking of a wedding party tends to be about 6-7 people. And I do just find that it kind of pushes you to having to start really early for that bride. Everyone's a little bit stressed out. So there is nothing better than maybe 2 of you arriving, and actually 2 of you doing, 4 people each. And it means you don't have to start at 6 a.m. and there's not a bridesmaid up at the crack of dawn. So I think it's really important to have people like you and I, and we can call on each other, but also in our little group chat, we have, 4 or 5 other makeup artists, so that we can all work together.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think it's such, like I said, just a really good support system of people who know what you're going through. And even when you just need that confidence boost where you're like, oh, today's been tough, and you need that kind of support of being like, yeah, I've had a tough day too, or what products have you been using? I've been finding that this has been, not working as well as it used to. So yeah, it's been really, really good to have that kind of support system.
What's your maximum number, Asia, of clients?
Probably on a bridal party, I would max out at 6. I find 6 is really tough. So I'm averaging an hour per client at the moment, but I would probably say that wouldn't include the bride. So if it was a bride in that party, it would probably be, well, yeah, probably 5, including her. It's a difficult one because of ceremony time, so it depends on that. But I think, yeah, when you do so many, you can get burnt out really easily, and you can fall out of love with the job. So,
and as I said a moment ago, it is also, if you are going to service 6 people, and on average the ceremony time is 1 or 2, it does mean that you're starting about 6 a.m., 7 a.m. So there's nothing wrong with that for the people that are the kind of early risers. They're excited, let's get the day going. But there will be many bridal parties that are going for dinner the night before. They're having, some drinks and a wee pamper with their best friends, and they don't want to be up at the crack of dawn. So therefore, either reduce the amount of people that you have so that your makeup artist doesn't need to come at 7 a.m. or get 2 makeup artists.
Yeah, I think some people's personality is just not to be overly like, oh my God, I love it. And that's absolutely fine. But it's hard for us to judge, like, did we do a good job? Do you like it?
So we basically want everyone to be like, oh my God, I have never looked better. Thank you so much. I love you. Everything you've done is amazing. So if every client could do that, please.
Please. And thank you.
I know, it's awful. Are you that person though? I could imagine you enthusiastic when you get hair done, like, and give back to be like, oh, I love it. Thank you so much. Are you that person?
I kind of am. Yeah. I don't like, if my food is cold at a restaurant or something, I'll just eat it. It's fine. Find a hair. I'm like, it's fine. I'll just take it out.
Why are we like that? Why are we like that? I'll just take it out. Oh, there's a fly. I skipped it out. I'm eating around it.
You know what? I'm going to pay double for this, actually, now that I think of it.
I know, I'll still leave a tip, even though you were awful. But why are we like this?
I'm not really sure. I think I need to do a little soul searching and become a little more assertive.
Yeah. Have you ever had your makeup done before?
No, I've never had my makeup done because I'm a self-taught makeup artist. So I've always just done myself. I use myself to practice on the most. And then, of course, other people, just friends, family, anybody who would, come over to my house and let me put makeup on them in the early days before I started actually charging people. But yeah, I've never had my makeup done, so this is exciting.
Hopefully you like it. Open your eyes. So I'm just building up this outer edge sculpting. We're originally from Las Vegas. I've never been.
You should go. Everybody should go.
So in my head, I mean, I can't be how do you say this word?
Discriminatory
about places, because I'm from Northern Ireland. So that is always sort of discriminated against, of like, always loads of bombs and stuff. No. But Las Vegas to me is just one big casino. Is that not the way it is?
So you have the strip, which is, I think, is about 2 miles of the strip. And then everything else. So we're actually in a valley. Las Vegas is in a valley, kind of like a bowl surrounded with mountains. So, there's, in the wintertime, there's skiing, there's snowboarding in the mountains surrounding us. There's a lot of hiking trails. And then, of course, you have all the neighborhoods and the schools and libraries, and people have regular jobs. So besides that 2 miles of strip, it's really just like any other fairly big city.
What did you do makeup when you were in Vegas?
No. I did cocktailing. I worked at a casino, like office admin. I only really got into makeup when I was pregnant with my twins in 2019.
And was that when you'd moved here? Yeah. But yeah, I'm just doing this lovely like bronzy tones, warmer tones at the outer edge, kind of sparkly gold champagne close to the inner part. And then I'm tapping on a little bit into the like center of the eyelid, so just above the iris, really, just like a cooler tone. So I know you don't think you suit cool tones, but I think that would give a good contrast just in the middle. You don't wear contacts, you don't, Aisha?
I do, but it's okay.
Are they in?
Yep. Is that an issue?
No, I always ask a client, because I love to just do a little bit under the lashes.
Oh, yeah,
are you
fine.
Still comfortable with that?
That's fine.
As long as I wouldn't touch your eyeball anyway.
Okay.
But so we're just going to apply under, but you can take blink breaks. So we said that we have this lovely collaborative group, and we can all help each other. I'm honestly feeling like I might change my maximum amount of people from 6 to 5. I'm finding 6 is still quite intense. You usually do have to start quite early. I'm finding like it's quite difficult because I need to do the school run, or I need to pick up the kids, and the sort of struggle is real. How do you find that you cope with that? Because I assume, being from Vegas, you don't have family here.
Yeah, so my husband is English and doesn't have family here either in Scotland. And I'm from Las Vegas. So yeah, no family, and have 3 little girls that are happy and healthy. Although 2 of my girls have autism, so they're nonverbal and just have additional support needs. So juggling everything is a struggle sometimes when I have a bridal party of 6 people and I need to be at the venue at 6 o'clock in the morning. So my husband has to, pick up the slack and do the packed lunches and make sure they're ready and get the uniforms and do all that good stuff. So
I'm complaining because I need to go and sort out the 2 kids, whereas one, you have 3 kids and you have 2 autistic children that are non-verbal. Honestly, how do you cope with that?
Sometimes it is really difficult. Like, I'm not gonna lie and say that, it's a breeze or every day is, great, because with the additional needs, it's just, is what it is. It's additional needs where we can't really do the same things that other families can do. And I think the statistic, I looked it up one time, and it was like, I think it was like 31% of fraternal twins, if one has autism, the other one can have it too. So it's really not, our situation's kind of unique, I think. Not a lot of people have twins that are both autistic and nonverbal. So they're going to be 6 next month. So for the most part, they don't really communicate with us, which is frustrating for them, frustrating for us. And yeah, we just need to manage the best that we can, really.
I got a big blob of mascara on that inner part. And what you should do, if this was a bridal client, I would actually wait till that dries and brush it away. But while it's still wet, I'm just going to try and remove that just by twisting that. And that's it gone. So at what stage did you know that they were both autistic?
So they were diagnosed at 3.
I'll just interrupt you. I have just been checking which lash is going to be best for you, whether it's one that's a full strip that goes out to the side, more fanned, or one that's a full lash, or whether it's just a little half lash, but I've decided on these ones that are lovely. They're going to be sort of regular strip lash, but slightly longer at the outer edges. They're still quite natural, so I think natural is always good. I love natural, but I hope it's not too natural for you.
No, they look really cute.
We also want to check that we don't need to cut anything off. Just look down. This is, again, something really simple, but some people don't realize that lashes have been designed for all eye shapes. So people who have really wide eyes, shorter eyes, like lashes are not all one size fits all. It's like shopping for your jeans, you know, what size are you? So your lashes need trimmed to size for most people. But funny enough, just to go against my point, those don't. Are the kids at a mainstream school, or have they gone to somewhere that can support a wee bit more additional needs?
Yep, so they're at a regular primary school, but they have a section of the school that is for special needs children.
Right, okay. Sorry again to interrupt. I'm just putting a little bit, I don't know if you do this, but I take a little bit of the black glue and tap it along the closest I can get to the lash line, so that it's almost like doubled up the glue. So when I go to add so I've already added glue to the lashes. They're getting nice and tacky, because as we know, we don't want to put lashes on when they're super wet, because they'll just move. And then I want to put some glue here so it goes tacky, and then by the time the lashes have gone tacky, now I go to put them on and they just go suck straight into your natural lash line.
That's really
in
smart.
theory, but it usually does work, to be honest. And I have less chance of them sort of lifting on either edge because I've applied a bit of glue there. So I tend to set the middle of the lash. I can see when I'm applying it where the end's going to hit, but I set the middle so it's really stuck. And then I take the outer edge and pop it on, and the inner and pop it on and hold it just for a few seconds. And then, not probably the most professional thing, but I take the tiniest little like cotton buds that are more like sticks, and I basically set and keep patting that so it is so stuck onto the eyelashes. So even on the outer edge, it's almost like the glue is still a wee bit tacky, so I'm just using the stick to kind of blend out the glue so it's sort of smudging out a little bit on either side, if that makes sense, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. This is probably why on all your clients, their eyelashes look so good. I feel like I'm scared to use the black
glue. Oh, I find it much better. I feel like the white or the clear glue sometimes doesn't dry quick enough, and I'm even wanting to show the client their look, and I'm thinking, oh no, I can see the glue, whereas with the black one you can't.
Yeah, I think I need to try. Yeah.
So just open your eyes. Seamless. So I'll show you that. Mm-hmm. You can have a wee look at your lashes and your eyeshadow.
Oh wow. Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah. Laura.
And then once this dries, I put more mascara through so that your natural lashes stick to the falsies even more. I actually have a little tool I can nip those together, but then I'd make sure that this inner part is really, really seamless. You can even use the gel with that little brush and go right across again, so it's almost like extra glue. Okay, so that look okay so far?
It looks amazing.
Good. Let's zoom in just on your eyes. Oh my God. We're becoming the filter, the AI filter here. We wish. Right, so I'd cleaned the skin earlier. The primer should be sitting in there. That little black mark, we'll just ignore that. And then we're now going to go straight onto foundation. So we're going to use the Face Atelier. So this is a Canadian brand. I love this foundation. I really do. It's kind of suitable for almost all clients. So I usually take either a foundation brush or concealer brush and kind of dot the product over the skin, just on one side, one area. I can kind of blob it, blah, 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 blah. I make those noises in my head usually, not out loud. And then I'll either take a foundation brush or I'll just take a sponge and I can just pat this over the skin.
It's so interesting to hear your techniques, because I think everybody has different, like as makeup artists, we all have our different ways of doing, like similar But yeah, oh, so interesting. I'm loving this.
I know, I'm wondering what you do because we have worked together, but I'm busy with my clients, you're busy with your clients. So I don't know what you're doing, but the end result is amazing.
I don't know what you're doing over there.
I don't know what you're doing. Do you feel like because this is a very buildable foundation, do you prefer, do you think another, because I'm going to obviously do concealer around the eye area.
I love this foundation, and I think that it's really lightweight. Like I can't feel it at all.
It's so nice.
But coverage-wise, yeah, I think it's perfect.
We were talking about then the girls having autism, and your oldest kind of like, oh, such a shame. Because how do you think that restricts her? Do you find that when you go to do sort of mummy daughter days, are you having to be quite aware about where it's going to be suitable for the needs of the younger girls? So therefore your older daughter needs to kind of just follow suit, whether she wants to go somewhere or not.
Absolutely, yeah. So we don't really get out. I think a lot of parents of autistic children will feel the same. It's mainly just, I think it's safety. Like it's not so much, I'm not worried about them having a tantrum or flinging themselves on the floor. It's more so like, can they run into traffic? Can they escape out of the soft play? Can they, go through the fire exits? It's just safety all the time for them because their awareness of danger is just not there. At 6 years old, I would probably say for children, maybe 3 years and onwards, you can explain to them, you have to stay with mommy, don't run into the road, just basic, safety precautions. Whereas a lot of children with autism, they don't understand that. And they'll just run away. They call it eloping. They'll just run away.
Elope.
They'll just elope. They'll just run away. And it's so funny because one of the twins is really, really clingy. Like she's at a point where she wants me to feed her. Like she's a baby. She's going to be 6. And I'm spoon feeding my almost 6-year-old child because she's so clingy and needy and wants attention. But then she, like the next minute in public at Morrison, she'll just run away. I'm like, I don't understand. Where are you going?
Yeah, you're like, you need me. You're normally attached to my hip. And now when we're in public, you're like, don't love me anymore. You just be like, goodbye, mom. See you later. I'm on my own. I'm going to live by myself.
It's such a weird thing. I don't understand where she thinks she's going to go. But yeah, there's been a few times. So yeah, that's really what it is that it's just safety.
It must be so difficult, but it's having twins. Do you find that, I know from friends, there's lots of groups of support, say on Facebook, or I don't know where these communities are, but I know my friends in like a twins group. So I assume you're part of those, but then have you got autism groups within like Facebook where people can offer support, and that again where we as makeup artists have that kind of chat that we can offload? Do you have that for then when you're dealing with the girls as well?
I do, but I think because there's 2 of them, it's really hard to get to these groups or meetups. Whereas if it was just one girl that had the autism, then I could bring her on my own, or I could bring the other girls with me. But I'm outnumbered like 90% of the time. My husband's working, so scheduling wise, it just doesn't work for us to meet up on these, outings that the groups have. But online for sure, their support for autism.
And does the government support you in any way?
Yeah, the government's actually really good with grants and financial help because I think they recognize that when you have children with such high needs, it makes working extremely difficult. Like I said, they have issues with sleep. And I'm not talking just they wake up 1 or 2 times during the night and they go back to sleep. I'm talking like they're up at 3 o'clock in the morning ready for the day. So it's really difficult to even function as a normal person, let alone go to work and do all the things that you need to do, the washing and the cooking and the cleaning.
And you had mentioned they were diagnosed at 3, which I think is quite young, is it not? So it must have been quite obvious to some, whoever was reviewing. Like, what were the signs for anybody who has got a 3-year-old or older or younger showing sort of symptoms? What were the signs?
I think the biggest signs were the communication aspect. So at 3, and it's funny because my oldest daughter, obviously I had raised her, so she was very different, but I just thought, oh, they're twins and they're taking their time. But my husband knew that, not pointing to things at 3 years old, not clapping their hands, not keeping eye contact, not saying anything, no words at all, was not normal. So I think the main one for us was the communication aspect, is that they were not in any way trying to communicate with. Yeah, and I think also for them, they just weren't interested in other things that, 3-year-olds would typically be interested in. So like they wouldn't play with their toys how, like for a baby doll, for example, they wouldn't hold it, they wouldn't, kiss it. They would like to just line things up instead. So they would go to their, blocks and they would just line them up, or they would color sort them, by color, things like that. So they were playing with toys not in the usual way that you would expect kids to be playing with them.
Yeah.
Because when they were diagnosed, I was alone with them, and the doctor said, I really do think that they have autism. I think I kind of blacked out. Like it was like an outer body experience because, yeah, like I said, my husband knew that they were probably autistic. He was so confident, but I don't know if it was denial, but you never want there to be something wrong with your children. You never want their lives to be harder, or you don't want them to be abnormal than other children.
Yeah.
So that was really hard. And I just remember, trying not to cry, because it was really hard to hear that. And the main thing is that I just didn't want their lives to be harder. But I think overall now, that was, 3 years ago, I think now we've come to terms with it. And it's a little scary in the aspect where you don't know what their future is going to be like. You're not really sure. When you ask the specialist, do you think they'll ever talk? They're just like, we don't know, because every autistic person is different. Their brains are so unique.
It's very varied. You had mentioned that, they run away, they elope whenever you're out in public and stuff, which is really difficult because you're obviously any mother is just trying to make their child as safe as possible, regardless of any, diagnosis or not. We're just keeping our baby safe. So do you find that, where we stay in the sort of Ayrshire, are we quite good or not so good at having those things put in place at the parks? Or like, where would you suggest if somebody was in the area, where would you go if you had an autistic child? Or are you finding that difficult?
Yeah, it's really hard. I think in our area, there's been more improvements on like communication tools. So I know at Belial, or is it, no, it's Rizal, they have a board with all the symbols that you can point to. And when we brought the girls there, it's by the duck pond. They're pointing to all the pictures, and it's just like, I don't know if you've seen like the picture maker kind of symbols,
but maybe I wouldn't notice. Do you know what I mean?
It's a really big board on the gate surrounding the pond, and it just has different symbols like no, yes, go, hungry, like things like that. So Ella kept pointing at no, the thumbs down no. She's like no. So I think there's more and more things like that. But safety aspect, I really wish that more parks, or if not like every park, was gated. That would be so helpful.
Remember when we had a conversation about that when we first met? We went for a coffee after a wedding, and you told me that the girls were runners, and actually that you need gates around all parks. And after that conversation, I noticed how few parks actually have gates. We're awful at Trin Beach. If anyone's watching from Trin Beach, or Trin Council, you literally have 2 entrances and neither has a gate across. So you have a gate around the whole thing, but there's an open entrance here, there's an open entrance here. So your child can literally go from one side out the other. And that would be impossible for you with 3 children, 2 of which are going to try and run away. There's no hope of us, say, meeting up for a coffee and letting the kids play really, nicely while we chatted. You would just be on your guard at all times.
Yeah.
And that must be so difficult for you to carry out having friendships, because a lot of us mums, we met each other at, little kids classes, and then we'll take them to Joe Jingles and Jakey Wrigglers and Baby Sensory and any other class that sort of came convenient. But were you able to still attend those baby classes and make connections? And if you did, are those connections still in place, or did you find it hard to keep together if that person didn't have a similar situation?
Yeah, so I actually don't have any friends with autistic children. The friendships that I have now, I'm really lucky that they, I don't know, I don't want to use the word accepted, but they just know, they understand, they know my situation, they work around my scheduling. But I'm not going to lie and say that I'm out all the time and I'm, doing social things with them. I can when scheduling like allows. But yeah, most of the time I'm just at home and I'm tired and I'm exhausted from work and taking care of them. So no, I never brought them because with that, with the twins, that's a challenge. And then on top of it, it's like they both have additional needs. So we don't really go anywhere.
Oh, look right up. And what do the girls cope like in a new situation? Like, say they were to come around here for a wee play date. What would that look like?
It would look like your house being destroyed.
Is that normal?
Yeah, they're super curious about everything. And they just honestly, I feel like they just wreck everything. But yeah, it's interesting because you see the pictures on their school. Their school uses like an app, so their teacher will upload pictures of them doing their schoolwork, and they know how to tell the time. So there's clock faces at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and then the times, written on different pieces of paper, and they're matching these times to the clock faces. And I'm like, but why can you not say anything?
Yeah, you're a genius in so many ways.
They're doing math. Like, it's crazy.
Do they make noises?
Yeah, so they do talk. So nonverbal doesn't, I always thought, I'm learning so much with having autistic kids because I think a lot of people think that they know what autism is, but even me, I'm like, oh, okay. So nonverbal doesn't mean that they don't say anything at all. It just means that I think by definition, they don't use more than 3 words consecutively in context. So they'll never be like, "Mommy, can I have juice?" or "Mommy, let's go to the park." But they'll say things like "Stop." It's mainly negative things. "Stop it." What did she say the other day? "All done. That's enough. Go away." So it's all negative.
Don't mean to laugh.
Not negative. It's mainly when I'm brushing their hair. Like, stop it.
That's not just autism though. That's just life, isn't it?
I took my oldest daughter to the cat cafe in Erin.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Really, really cute, and she loved it. I'm not a huge fan of cats.
But you sacrificed that mother's love. You were like, "Oh, embrace the cats."
There was the Sphinx one that's like a hairless cat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
I like cats, but even those ones are not for me. Apparently, they're the most loving, like lovely cats, but yeah, not for me. Twins, something that runs in your family?
I didn't know this, but my grandma's mother's mother.
Grandma's mother's
on my
mother.
dad's side, I think in Italy. Yeah, in Italy, in the southern part of Italy, was a twin, but she was a fraternal twin, and her twin, because it was like early 1900s, died. So it was kind of like never known.
Yeah, that she was actually a twin.
Exactly. My aunt told me, but my grandma had 8 children. All of my aunts and uncles, apart from one, had children. None of my cousins, none of my aunts and uncles had twins.
No way. Just look right up. So your grandma had 8 children.
Yeah.
Holy moly. So let me do a little bit of liner. So I'm going to keep with the AI picture of you where we're going for that kind of deeper sort of rose color. You can't speak to me right now, so I'll just speed this little part up. I'm going to go for the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk in deep. Do you have that one? Medium, not deep.
No, I have the dupes, the L'Oreal Color Rich.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Is it the dupe of the deep, or is it? I keep saying deep. It's medium.
I think it's just the dupe of the original.
Oh la la, I like it. And we need to body gloss, and I think I will do a touch of that gel liner over the top. So I'm just taking the gel liner by Inglot with the teeny tiniest little brush. That is a paintbrush, the Master Stroke Craft brushes. So not even a brush brand, well, a brush brand, but not a makeup brush brand. And I'm just going to take that and coat it across the lash line and into that original eyeliner that I created earlier. And I did this in another video, but I love using a little dental brush. So teeny tiny little brushes, because I can get, if you look down, I can get really close to you from your natural and almost like get a load of mascara into these little inner eyelashes. My pet peeve really is where you can see the lashes started. So unless you're blending the client's natural lashes into the falsies, you're going to probably get that. So yeah, oh la la. So I'm just going to tap that over the skin, and this is the Sol de Janeiro. This is the lovely body gloss that doesn't actually change your color, so it doesn't make you more tanned or anything. I have one that's darker, and it does give more of a tan, so some of our clients that love that. Although if I was going to use that one, I would do it first before foundation.
Oh, interesting.
Because I've done it after and thought, oh no, your foundation looks a bit light for you.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So actually, and sometimes I bring it right up onto the face a little bit. I don't think it's for the face, but for one day for a client going to a wedding, who cares? That gives such a lovely shine over your décolletage.
I love the glowy look. I have that in my kit too, and it's everybody's favorite. It smells amazing. It's not sticky.
That's what I think. It's just beautiful. So I'm just going to tap on that little coffee eyeliner again onto your beauty mark, and we're just going to bring that to life a little bit. So I'm going to use just a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. So if you close eyes and deep breath, I'm just going to hold that over the eyes.
Oh, that smells really good.
I like that one. And then I tend to just tap it one in the middle as well. So I'm just going to show you your makeup.
Oh my God. This is crazy. I love it. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
Quite happy with that.
So cute. My eyes look amazing. The skin too. I love the skin.
If you got this far, thank you for watching / listening, and thank you for all your chat, Asia. That was really interesting. Hopefully it's quite helpful for anybody that's in a similar situation.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. I hope you like your makeup.
I love it. I love this lip. I can't get over the lip.
It's so nice.